Jim T. Graham with RCGroups.com. Today we're going to take a look at the Horizon Blade Theory Type W. Now this is built as an FPV race wing, and I know for a fact it's been in races over the last year, but I wanted to take a look at this as a plane for your standard pilot, somebody who just is looking for something awesome to fly that can fit in the back seat and FPV around. The most notable thing for me, I think, is that everything you need for this bird is pre-installed. So you're looking at the camera, the video transmitter, ESC motor, servos, everything is installed in this aircraft. And in the old days, that was not the case. You would have to figure out what you wanted, order it separately, and get it all in there. The brushless motor is capable of 90 plus miles an hour, and I will show in the video. It's pretty quick. It has digital Metal Gear servos, so that's top of the line. You can't ask for more than that. We're going to talk about the wing attachment here in a second, but you're also looking at the canopy. It comes with two canopies, one for the standard camera and one so you can put a Mobius on here. And I have to say the canopy is really well done. It goes together very nicely. So here's your wing. What you're looking at is a plastic tab system. It's kind of a push button type of situation. Then you see to the right of that the large carbon fiber spar, and then you see your servo plug, and note there is a plus minus sign in the plastic on that, so you'll know which way to plug that in. You'll also see the tabs and the different it's kind of integrated into the wing to keep everything nice and solid and not wiggling around. And the other part is, you know, like I say, you can snap those wings off in seconds and it'll fit in a suitcase. This is flying on a 4S 1300 pack. You can get about 7 minutes on this pack. And I think the concept here was most of us are quad pilots, and this is a quad pack, and we all have lots of them. So here we are. This is the wing put together. Once again, you'll spend more time putting stickers on the craft than you will getting it ready to fly, because everything's already there for you. I added some of my own touches. I actually took two sticker sets and merged them together to create this combo look, which I think looks great. And this is it. It's ready to fly, ready to go. So we're headed out to the field, and one of the first things that we discover is how the AS3X can save you on a bad launch. So that was actually a poor launch. Jason's going to elaborate on that.
So it was a pretty bad throw. I'm throwing it from the tail and pushing it with my finger, and it banked over, and the AS3X automatically rolled it level. So it couldn't be safer to launch, so kudos to that.
You can't crash it, or it's hard to. Give me a launch out there, Jace. So what we're seeing is you put it in launch mode, and the craft will right itself, which means if you're in the goggles or whatever, you're not going to crash on the ground. And even if you did crash into the ground, you would be level when you met the ground. And you'll see this in a video that's about to come up where I'm throwing it and really taking advantage of the safety mode, saving the aircraft. We're going to take a look at my attempt to throw this thing while having the goggles on. So as you can see, the AS3X leveled me out, and I was able to throttle out of that hole and into the air. The pilots that were standing by said that they thought it was not coming out. So I have to say the launch mode on the AS3X was invaluable over and over again. The reason you heard me rev it up twice before I threw it is you need to get your throttle up before the AS3X actually kicks in and starts operating. And I wanted to make sure that happened before I threw it. Now, when I throw it, I don't throttle up till it's out of my hand. That's a personal thing. I'm sure people throttle up and then throw all the time, but it works for me to throttle after. So we're in the air. Hey, here we are. So the big question I had was, will this wing, like wings in my history, skitter around corners? You know, it's a wing, so there's not like a huge rudder back there. I certainly can't use a rudder stick to counteract or help turn. And I have to say right off the bat that yes, the AS3X took away all feeling of me sliding around turns in a wing. The other thing I want to say is the first time I flew this in FPV, I thought the throttle was stuck wide open. I was sure that I was going to have to fly the pack out to get this plane on the ground. I guess I could have landed it at full speed. But turns out I was not. The throttle was not stuck like might happen in the old days of glow engines. The thing just flies so well, it felt like it was throttled up even at zero throttle. And so there is a microphone on this. I have it turned down right now because it's pretty noisy. But there's a mic on the video, and I revved it, and I was like, no, the throttle works fine. It just flies super fast. So that's the next thing I would probably ask if I were you is how slow and how fast does this thing fly? You can slow it down to a crawl. It doesn't drop a wing. It doesn't care, but it will haul the mail. It goes fast. So this is one of the nicest days I could find. When I went to the field, all the guys were commenting, finally a nice day. So I was out. There was a little bit of wind, probably 7 to 10, which a little wing like this normally would not like at all. And I have to say, I didn't feel it in the least, ever. Downwind, upwind, crosswind, any of those things. There's a shadow right there. Very awesome. So we're going to jump out of the FPV, but before we do, I want to say that's a 200 milliwatt video transmitter that the unit has pre-installed. So now Jason's going to let you audibly hear how fast this thing is. This is a 2205 2350 kV brushless motor.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty quick.
That's pretty quick. So quick I lost it in the camera. Good roll rate, and everything is set to stock on this. All the rates and all that stuff are what they suggest. Wow. So just to go over some side gear that we're using while filming this, these are the Focal V2 Bat Shark goggles from Spectrum and Horizon. Also the DX6E, $150 transmitter. What a deal. And these were the two units I was using out in the field. And there's a closer look at the video transmitter that is inside of the fuse when you get it. I actually pulled it out. Take a look. You can change channels on that with a push button. Very simple. It has a LED that shows you what frequency and channel you're on. So the thing I want to say is this is billed as an FPV race wing, and people use it to race. Now, they might change the motor, ESC, and battery setup. Probably not the batteries, but there's ways to make this thing faster, compete out there. But that's not what I wanted it for. I'm always looking for a great flying plane that I can FPV, that can fit in the back of my car. I say this all the time. This thing comes out of the box ready to fly. Once again, the most time you're going to spend putting this together are the stickers. And what you don't see at the field are the people that hang out with us while we're filming this, who have no idea that we're going to show up and do this. And I literally had people walk away that day and say, I'm ordering one. I just have to get it. So that's from them standing to the side and watching us fly it and put it through its paces and testing the AS3X. And while we're on the AS3X, that safety mode, that launch mode, is worth its weight in gold on a wing like this. And then the secondary switch allows you to fly it, but it limits how far it'll bank. And then you flip it all the way to 3, and you can do whatever you want. Now, in the future, I'm probably going to turn up the rates on this, and I'm probably going to turn up the throws to get a better roll rate. But I have nothing bad to say about this bird. And speed-wise, for me personally, I think the motor ESC battery combo is fine. It is exciting that I have lots of batteries for this plane already based on all the quads from my past. So I'm a fan, big fan, love it. It's the right size. It doesn't care about the wind. It carries my FPV gear. You might want to switch out the camera, video transmitter to your liking. It's easy to do, no big deal. I think they hit a home run with it, and I'm really excited that I actually wound up with one in my hands because this will always go with me. This is the kind of thing you can take to Florida, take on trips, and always have in the back seat if you're on a trip somewhere, and throw it and fly it anywhere because it's not big, doesn't take a lot of airspace. I hope this has helped. I'm Jim Graham with rcgroups.com.